right, welcome. I just put a playlist up. If you're interested in using the playlist, it's in the comments and I can repost it if you need it. Feel free just to give me a wave. You can start it now. It's just a sort of soft, gentle music for the month of May. And you're gonna want props today for our practice. You're gonna want 2 blankets or 2 beach towels work really well. You can also grab 1 block or a sturdy book. And you'll want 1 strap or a belt or a bathrobe tie works really well. We're gonna get started in Virasana today. And for Virasana, grab your blanket or a block. And I like to use 2 blocks, but if you only have 1 block, that's fine. And you're gonna place the blocks side by side. So you're really giving your pelvis a lot of room. And onto your shins. If you can't sit with your knees in this position, just take a Sukhasana, a legs crossed one in front of the other. And then take your hands, touch your hands either to your thighs. I like to connect my hands to my heels, almost like I'm taking my hand like it's a glove and my heel is the ball that I'm gonna catch, and really make a good fit. So connect your upper body to your lower body, connect your lower body to your upper body. And then take a moment here, just rock forward and back. Forward and back, just noticing that tilt of the pelvis forward, and then find something that feels like it's in between those 2 spaces. So you're not leaning forward into your future, you're not being heavy into your past, but you're really finding yourself at your center, coming into your middle today. And then take a moment, close the eyes, or just take the gaze down. And then really start to feel in front of you, noticing what's this potential in front of you, your future, and then really feel what's behind you. We reflect off our past, and then really put yourself in the middle of those 2 things. You're coming around to find yourself where you are in this moment. And then like you're putting yourself on a map, feel in front of you is north, feel behind you is south, to your left is east, to your right is west, and then put yourself in the center. So as we play with these points in time, we're really noticing where we are in our own circumstance, so we can come back to our own self. And then inhale, breathe up, down, right, left, front and back. Exhale, feel like you're coming back to yourself at your center. Do that again. Inhale, up, down, left and right, up and down. Exhale, come back to your center point. And then really start to create a lot of space here. A lot of space as you breathe in through the front of the body. Breathe out through the back of the body. And then start to breathe out through the sides of the hips so that your right and left hip go out to their own side, creating volume. And as you exhale, drop all the way down into your perineum. Think that your perineum roots down so that it rises you up through the crown of your head, finding space, finding volume, taking up space that you need today. And then perhaps setting an intention for your practice. And the intention that I'll offer today is part of the Ashtanga, the 8 limbs of practice in yoga, a parigraha, which means sort of this idea of letting go of things that we desire, things that we might hope for or wish for, maybe that others have. And the yoga practice reminds us to practice gratitude for where we are in the moment, but also practice gratitude for maybe letting go of something that was a past vision so that we can come into what is our future. Then take the hands together, right hand and left hand come together, find you at the center, touch your thumbs to your sternum, really take up space. Inhale, lift your sternum forward and up. Think your outer arms push out towards their side, and then find a breath, exhale. Let's open with a sound mantra, Om. Take a deep full breath, inhale. With the eyes open. Namaste. Welcome, everyone. Come on your hands and knees for a table pose. Feel free to slide the props off into the side. And if you just joined us, I'm going to post up again the playlist. If you want to join, feel free to. And if you haven't already, make sure to mute yourself. And also, if you want to turn your screen on, I do give some feedback with cues. So if you want to turn your screen on so that I can see your practice, feel free to turn on the screen so I can see you. Come into cat-cow, spread your hands evenly and well. And then from here, really start to draw your feet and ankles directly behind the center of your knees. That's it. And then really spread your toes from the big toe mound to the pinky toe mound. And then from here, really push down into your hands. Think that the center of your palm lifts you up and out of your shoulders. And then really tilt from the pelvis today. On an inhale, find your cow pose. Look forward. Think your pubis draws you forward towards the front of the mat. Your tailbone behind you draws you back. And then tilt the pelvis back. Start to draw the navel in and up. Round the spine, find your cat pose. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, pubic bone draws forward. Think your outer hips draw out towards the side. Tailbone draws back, and then find your cat pose. Tuck the chin and really round the spine. So as we move today, we're going to come around ourselves. Today's about twisting. And as you move around yourself, really just becoming aware of everything that's around you. Really getting, even in this cat-cow pose, do 1 more round. Really getting that full 360 view around yourself. So as you come forward, look forward, but also look out towards the sides. And then come back to your table pose. From here, start to take your right hand, turn your right middle finger to face towards your right knee. And then start to circulate over to the right. Come all the way around through your center, and then really just start to circulate through your right palm. Notice where you connect into your right hand. Do you disengage at all? Can you connect your thumb, your first finger, your pinky edge of your hand, and then think the center of your palm roots you down to rise up and out of your shoulder. Think that your right hip goes to the right, your left hip goes to the left, that your pubic bone draws you forward and your tailbone draws you back. So you're really making that circumference around yourself. Our right hand is usually our more dominant side. So start to notice when you come around, where do you play your habits? Where do you start to feel that pull? And then come back, find pause, find a stillness. Take your left leg back, opposite hand, opposite leg. Straight your left leg like a plank pose. Come onto the ball of your left foot. Press your right heel back just slightly so you're really straightening your left leg. And then think your left side turns in just slightly. Allow the top of the left leg to turn in, but allow your hips to move out towards your own side. And then from here, you can push down onto your right hand and then start to shift your left hand to your low back at your sacrum. Aha, good morning, right? So there's going to be a slight lean to the right side, and that's okay. Take your left foot like a warrior 1. Turn the back foot like a warrior 1, 45 degrees. Really push the weight into your left outer heel. Keep your gaze forward. I know it's challenging. Think your right hip moves to the right, your left hip moves to the left, and then really draw your pubic bone forward, draw your tailbone back. That's it. From here, we're going to start to turn. Think your right shoulder blade is turning over to open your left collarbone, and then maybe you start to look over your left shoulder blade. Keep pressing your left inner thigh in and down. There's a slight turning in of that left inner thigh. If you can, reach your left thumb directly over your ear. One long line, push your right hand down to lift out of the right shoulder, and then take a side bend with the left arm, reach it up and over. Tuck your chin into your armpit. You've got it. Take a breath in, look down, set the left hand down. That's it. And then drop your left knee down. Good work, everybody. I know it's challenging. And then turn your right palm all the way back to face forward. Tuck your toes, and then really spread your toes from here. I want you to walk your hands back to your heels, but keep the toes tucked version. Some of us might be able to go all the way. Some of us might just come part of the way, and that's okay. Take your hands onto your thighs. Lift your sternum forward and up. Really breathe in through the front of the body, back of the body, right and left, up and down. Exhale, feel like you're coming back to your center. That's it. And then untuck your toes, walk your hands back, find your table pose again. You can kind of tap out through the feet a little bit to let go of the legs. And then re-root yourself in your legs. Really make a square with your shoulders, square with your hips. So feel that shape in the body. Feel the right angles from your shoulders to your wrists. Feel the right angle from your hips to your knees. And then look again down at your left hand. Turn your left middle finger to face towards your left knee. And then again, start those circles. Go counterclockwise this time. Move to the left, back, around to the right, and then come back through center. So as you do this, really noticing this is your sort of more habitual side. This is where we find our stop, where we sort of come to terms with things, our feelings. And as you start to turn, really, as you come around yourself, really noticing, maybe noticing that this side is easier, maybe this side is harder. For me, this is my easier side because I don't use it as much. And really see if you're rising around yourself as you're coming around, where is your gaze naturally falling? Do you look forward? Do you look down? Really getting that full 360 view. Do that one more time, and then come back through center, opposite hand, opposite leg. Lengthen and straighten your right leg back like a plank pose. Tuck your toes in, get your right heel over the back ball of the foot. Shift the weight into your left hand, and then pick up your right hand, put it on your low back at your sacrum. And if you need to turn the left fingertips forward, that's okay. You're at home, so do your best, everybody, right? Let go of what you think this should look like. Come back to that intention of Apara Graha. Think your pubic bone draws you forward, your tailbone draws you back, and then think your hips move out to their own side, right and left. Really get around yourself, everybody. That's it. Take your right foot, turn it like a warrior one to give a little bit more support. Back foot grounds 45 degrees, and then think your right hip turns in and down just slightly. And then if you want to move into the twist, start to turn the tip of your left shoulder blade to open your right collarbone, making an X marks the spot in the center of your chest. Find yourself in the center. Really see if you can lean your chest forward, but have your tailbone keep moving back. That's it. And then if you can, reach your right arm straight up and over your ear. Good. And then take your right arm up and over towards the front of the room. Tuck your chin into your armpit, everybody. That's it. Look down. Plant your right hand. Drop your right knee back down. Whew, we made it. Turn your fingertips back forward. One more time, tuck your toes in. Really, as you tuck your toes, see if you can spread the toes to make contact. Big toe to pinky toe edge, and then walk your hands back. So notice where you go and where you don't go. Hands to your thighs, or make that hand fit the glove, opposite hand, or take your hands making that ball, really connecting hands to heels. Really make good contact from here. Think your hips go out towards your side, your pubic bone draws you forward and up, and your tailbone draws you back and down. And then really ignite through the collarbones, widen their collarbones, really find a little bit more volume through the sternum, through the chest. And then think your pubis starts to draws you forward and up to lift your chest up more. That's it. Stay for one more breath. Really good work, everybody. And then walk your hands back, untuck your toes again. Tap, tap, tap out through your feet to let go of that. Good. And then from here, come back onto your hips to your heels again. And then we're going to come to a seat in Dandasana. Grab your blanket, everybody. And how do you grab a blanket? But if you don't have one, you can also roll your mat up a little bit if that feels better for you. Take your blanket right behind you and sit onto the edge. So just for a moment, really sit onto the edge. Make two fists with your hands. Fit those two fists to the inner arches of your feet. This is how we measure our hip distance, our inner hip distance from our inner hips. That's it. Good. And then from here, I want you to really push your hands into your thighs and put a little micro bend into your knees. And then take your hands out, right hand to 3 o'clock on a clock face, left hand to 9 o'clock. Think your pubis draws you forward towards 12, and your tailbone draws you back towards 6. You're really putting yourself in the middle of all of those things. And then take your right hand to your left knee, and then walk your left fingertips back. Just rotate for a little bit over towards your right side. Really see what's, or your left side rather, see what's around you. And then come back through center. Take your left hand to your right knee, everybody. Fit it like a glove, and then turn over to the right side. So as we start to twist, just notice what you notice at first. Notice how far your normal range is, and then come all the way back through center. Good, so we're gonna build into the twist a little bit more. One more time, take your right hand to 3, Take your left hand to 9. And then I want you to bend your knees. Bend your knees, but don't move your heels, everybody. Good. And then see if you can really move from your pelvis, just like when we did in cat-cow. Tilt your pelvis forward so your buttock bone sticks out a little bit more, your tailbone sticks out. So there's this really big action of a fold at the hip. That's it. And your sternum is going to feel like it's leaning forward. Really good, Elizabeth. I see that. Good. Welcome, Passy. So nice to see you. As you do this, really lift your chest forward and up. Now, one more time, take your right hand to your left knee. Before moving into the twist, I want you to plug your right hip back into the socket. That's it. Think as you plug your right hip back, your left knee moves forward into your right hand. That's it. So much better. Don't twist yet. Good. And then take your left hand back and behind you. Take your left hand so it's more like 6 o'clock behind your tailbone. Now start to move your right shoulder. Don't twist yet. Move your right shoulder in between your knees. That's it. So your right shoulder comes to 12. Your left shoulder moves back to 6. Now start to turn and twist. Look over your left shoulder as best as you can, everybody. To get more into the twist, tilt your pelvis forward. That's it. Now think that your right hip plugs back into the socket. And as you do that, move your left knee more into your right hand. Good. And then keep turning. Turn the tip of your right shoulder to your left collarbone. Now see how much more you can see. Is your right shoulder really in between the thighs? And you can bend your knees even more to make the pelvis move you into the twist, but don't move the heels. Keep the heels directly down into the ground. Really plug yourself in. Think that in front of you is north, behind you is south, to your left is east, and to your right is west. Put yourself in the center. So as we do this, really create our own personal territory. When we find our own personal territory, we're really being aware. We're aware of where we're weak. We're aware of where we're strong. So we can use those things to play ourselves really well. And then come all the way back to your center. Take your right hand across and behind you. Take your left hand to your right knee this time. Good. And then really again, start to move from your pelvis. Tilt your pelvis forward just slightly. So it feels a little bit more like a back bend, right? And then take your right hand behind you to 6 o'clock. Don't come into the twist yet, April, yeah. And then move your left shoulder in between your knees, really in between your thighs, that's it. So your left shoulder this time comes to 12. Your right shoulder moves back towards 6. That's it. Plug your left hip back into the socket. And as you do that, move your right knee forward. Good. Left hip back in the socket, right knee forward into your hands. So you're making good contact. You're making a better fit. That's it. And then start to turn the tip of your left shoulder to your right collarbone, making an X marks a spot in the center of your chest. Maybe now start to look behind you towards 6 o'clock. Can you look around, but look back using your left eye. So you're really getting that full 360 view as you turn yourself and twist. You can even tilt your pelvis a little bit more forward. So your pubic bone draws you forward, but your tailbone roots you back and down. Stay for one more breath. And then come all the way around yourself. Good. Really strong twisting. And then take your hands one more time to 3 on the right hand, to 9 on the left hand. And then this time, press your thighs down. As you press your thighs down, really start to straighten and lengthen your legs. That's it. Take your hands back and then walk your feet back. Come back into that table pose again, everybody. Table pose again. Spread your hands evenly and well. Good. Make a square, hand to hand, knee to knee, and then really plug your feet in. Spread your toes from the big toe to the pinky toe edge of the foot. That's it. I want you to take your left knee, move your left knee to center, so it's right in the middle. And then take your right leg, straighten your right leg back again like a plank pose, but keep the toes lifted this time. Draw your right knee into your navel, and then draw your right thigh over your left thigh. That's it. Spread your toes. And as you connect, I want you to think this time that the feet are more like a rectangular shape. So square comes into a rectangular shape, going a little bit longer, and then really see if you can align opposite hand to opposite foot, really tightening up that rectangular shape a little bit more. Draw an imaginary line from your right buttock bone to your left knee.
Draw an imaginary line from your left buttock bone to your right knee, and then find that X marks the spine in the center of your pelvis. Good. From here, inhale to cow pose. Look forward, look out. Exhale, tuck your chin and round the spine, find your cat. From here, tuck your toes in, everybody, but keep the feet a little bit wider so you can make good contact. Spread the toes from the big toe to the pinky toe edge of the foot, and then really start to lean your hips back to lift your knees up for a cross-legged downward facing dog. And this is going to be a shorter down dog since we entered it from a table pose. So from here, lift your heels up to lift your buttock bones up. Press your chest towards your thighs. But I want you to take the gaze forward towards your thumbs. Can you get your arms in line with your ears, everybody? Stay here for a breath. Take a full deep breath. Inhale. Open the mouth out. Exhale. Hold the breath out. Take your right hand to the middle of the mat. So it's making now a triangle from foot to foot, from your right hand, making that triangle. And then take your left hand to your low back at your sacrum. That's it. If you need left, put your knees down. Lift your buttock bones up. Push your hand back. And then really see if you can use the leverage of the right hand. Push into the hand to lift out of the shoulder. Take a full deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Set your left hand back down. Come back to that rectangular shape. Right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot. And then drop your knees back down. That's it. Send your right leg straight back like a plank pose. This time, touch your right toes down. Straighten your right leg. Straighten your left leg back, plank. Heels back, head forward. Hug your outer upper arm bones in. Start to draw your navel forward. Find your plank pose by looking forward, using your pelvis to draw you forward rather than your neck. Bend your knees, send your hips up and back for a traditional downward facing dog. And then let's move. Inhale, come forward for plank pose. Bend your knees, exhale, downward facing dog. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, come forward for plank pose. Head forward, heels back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg straight up and back. Draw your right knee into your navel. And then set your right foot to your right thumb. Take your right hand to 3 o'clock. Take your left hand to 9 o'clock. Lift your buttock bones in line with your shoulders. So really put a little air in your tires here. Lift your buttock bone up and then draw your pubis forward. Draw your tailbone back. Now start to untuck the back toes. Drop your left knee down. Reach your arms forward and up. Beautiful. Take your left hand to the back of your head. Bend into your left elbow. Think your left elbow lifts you up, but it also draws you up towards the left. And then take your right hand out towards the right side. Good. Turn your upper arm bone in. So turn your thumb down and then put a little bend into your elbow. And then take your hand around to your low back at your sacrum. Try to get the back of your hand on your sacrum from here. And then really use the elbows to find more volume. Push the elbows out to the right, out to the left. Think your hips create volume out to the right, out to the left. And then lift your chest up. Start to draw your buttock bone down towards the ground. Find that volume, find that space. That's it. Stay for 1 more full breath in. Exhale, drop just your left hand down. Take your left hand, everybody, close to your right foot. Almost make contact from your right knee to your left shoulder. And then think your chest moves you forward, your buttock bones draw you back. And then start to turn here. Turn to the right. So the tip of your left shoulder to your right collarbone. X marks the spot in the center of your chest. And then see if you can move around yourself. Looking back and behind you, getting that full 360 view. Maybe the right arm starts to lift up and over the ear. That's it. Reach your right hand towards the front of the room. Tuck your chin into your armpit. Yes, you can. Good. Look down, plant your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. Good. And then from here, walk your hands to the inside of the right foot. Walk your hands around wide leg lunge. Put a big bend into your left knee. Make good contact with your left knee. Keep your right leg straight, everybody. That's it. And then notice if you're going into just the outer edge of your left foot, really make good contact with all 4 corners of your feet. Big toe to pinky toe, press down into the center of your heel. Walk your hands forward just slightly. And then slowly shift the weight into your right knee. Bend into your right knee. Walk your hands around to frame your right foot. Step back to a plank pose, right foot and left foot meet. Good, heels back, head forward. Take a deep full breath, inhale. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Do that again. Inhale forward for plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop your knees down, come back to a child's pose. Untuck your toes. Take a breath if you need it. Anytime you need child's pose, pause. When you're ready, come back. Table pose, hands and knees. Really fit yourself into a square. So find the dimensions, right angle from right shoulder to the wrist, and then hips to knees, make that square shape from here. Draw your right knee this time into your center line, and then lengthen your left leg back like a plank pose again, but don't drop your toes down this time. Draw your left knee into your navel, and then hook left thigh on top of right. Wiggle your feet out wide, everybody, again. That's it. And then really make yourself into more of a rectangular shape. Your feet go wider and longer to make that rectangle. And your two hands make the top of the shape. Your feet make the back of the shape. You have those two long sides on either side of your torso, but you also have a front and a back. So the rectangular is really a prism, right? Tuck your toes. Start to lift your knees up just to a hover. Don't go back to a dog yet. As you do, move your chest forward, but I want you to keep your gaze forward this time as you move your hips up and back. The more that we hinge from our pelvis and hips and feel the fold, the more that we can find that buoyancy in the upper body. Straighten your arms, everybody. That's it. Keep the gaze forward. Try to get the shoulders in line with the ears. That's it. Stay with me. Take a full deep breath in. Open them out. Exhale. Hold the breath out. Good. Inhale, come back. Hands and knees. Drop your knees back down. Unwind your left leg. Lengthen and straighten your left leg back. Good, like a plank, and then right foot comes back to meet it. So really feel yourself fold and then unfold. Lift your hips up and back, bend your knees, downward facing dog. Keep your gaze forward. That's it, 2 times. Inhale, come forward for plank. Head forward, heels back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Do that again. Inhale, feel the momentum, breathe you forward. Look forward from your pelvis. That's it, downward facing dog. Send your left leg up and back for a down dog split. Draw your left knee into your navel, round. Look forward, step your left foot to your left thumb. That's it. Walk your hands out wide to the outside of the mat. Right hand to 3, left hand to 9. Put a little air in your tires. Lift your left hip up. So you're really getting your left hip in line with your shoulders so you're finding more space. Can you fit your left knee into your left armpit? And then drop your back knee down. Untuck your back toes. That's it. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up. Good. This time, take your right hand to the back of your head. And then take your left arm out, straight out. Rotate your thumb down. So really rotate your inner arm going down. And then take your hand around against your low back. Try to get the back of your palm to your sacrum at your low back. Good. Lift your head into your hand. And then think your right elbow moves out just slightly towards the right side. Think your left elbow moves you out slightly. So you're creating that space in the collarbones so you can find more access, more volume. That's it. Take one more full breath. Inhale. And then start to hinge forward. Drop your right hand down. Again, pick up the right hand so it's a little bit closer towards the left foot. And then even make good contact. Maybe your shoulder touches your left knee. And then start to turn if it's in your practice. Think your shoulder again, your right shoulder moves towards 12. Your left shoulder moves back towards 6. You're putting yourself in the middle of that frame. And then move around yourself. So you can turn the tip of your right shoulder to your left collarbone. X marks the spot in the center of the chest. And then if you can, reach your left thumb directly over your ear. Good. And then start to send your left hand towards the front of the mat. I know it's hard. Tuck your chin into your chest. Look down, plant your hands. Good. Retuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Walk both hands to the inside of that left foot. Walk your hands around for a fold. Good. Wide leg fold. That's it. Right away, bend your left knee. Bend your right knee, rather. Good. Walk your hands out in front of you. Good. Stay, stay, stay. Stay for a breath. Full breath in. Full breath out. Make that good contact with your right foot. Notice where you go. Do you turn out to the outer part of the edge of out of the foot? Can you stack your knee directly over the center of your foot? Are you finding good contact with your left foot? So as we connect to the right, really notice what the left foot does. Do you lift your toes, or can you spread your toes on the left side from the big toe, pinky toe, center of the heel? And then bend back into the left knee. Walk your hands all the way forward. Good. From here, we're going to step the left foot in front of the right. Left foot in front of the right, only because we switched on the second side. Walk your feet a little bit wider, make that rectangle again. Bend your knees. Take your left hand to the middle of the mat. So the knees make one line with that left hand. And then if you can, take the weight into your left hand, put your right hand on your low back edge, your sacrum. Aha, I didn't forget. Right? So as you find this, where can you revolve into yourself? Really make a triangle. From your right foot to your left foot, make that triangle shape with your left hand. And then see if you can find a little buoyancy. If it's all in the shoulders, put more bend into the knees, really fold yourself from the pelvis and then create space. Move out to their own side with your right hip and your left hip. Think that your chest moves you forward, your buttock bones move you back and down. Take a full breath, inhale. Look forward, drop both hands down. Come back to that rectangular downward facing dog. Inhale this time, come forward for a crossed knee plank variation. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Unwind your feet. Come into a traditional downward facing dog. And then one more time, measure out the length of your dog. Measurement of a down dog is from your plank pose. Come forward to plank. Send your hips up and back, down dog. Good. Lift your heels, bend your knees. Look at your thumbs. Step, hop, or jump to the top of the mat. That's it. Good. Make two fists with your hands. Slide your fists inside the inner arches of your feet. Good. Bend your knees, chest towards thighs. Think your knees draw you forward, your hips draw you back. And then slowly grab opposite hand to opposite elbows. Good. So lift your chest just slightly off your thighs. And so as you do this, really see if you're making a connection from your pelvis and your hips. We're folding at our hips. And we're going to open our hips when we stand. So as you do this, really draw the weight into the center of your feet. Notice you have a tendency to shift your weight into your heels or into the balls of your feet. Where do you jump the gun forward, or where do you hang back? Come into the center. And then from here, knees draw you forward, butt bone draws you back. Start to lift your chest up a little bit more. I know. Unfold yourself. Open your hips. Take your arms in line with your ears. That's it. And then take just your left hand to the back of your head. Good. Take your right arm out towards the side. Turn your right thumb down, bend your elbow, roll your inner upper arm bone in, take your hand to your low back at your sacrum. Good. Push your head into your hand. Open through your left armpit. Think your left elbow moves you out to the left, your right elbow moves you out to the right. Good. And then take a little side bend up and over towards the right side. Press down into your left foot. Good. Come all the way back through center. And then slowly reach your left hand straight up. Good. Reach your left hand forward. Put your buttock bones, reach them back. And then come all the way down. Take your left hand, everybody, inside of you, or right in front of you. So you're making that triangle shape again. Feet make the edges of the triangle. Left hand makes the apex of the triangle. Bend your knees a little bit from here. Good. Take your left hand, so you're turning the palm down on your sacrum at your low back. And then put a big bend into your left knee. Straighten your right leg. Think that your right hip moves into your right hip socket. Your left knee moves forward towards your armpit, and then start to twist it. Look over your right shoulder. That's it. And then so you can look up, but use your left eye to look up, everybody. Stay or reach your right hand straight up. That's it. And then keep moving your right hip back into the right hip socket. Move your left knee forward a little bit. That's it. Move around yourself. Slowly come all the way back. Bend both knees. Drop both hands down. Make a square. Hand to hand. Hands in front of your feet. Bend your knees a lot. Good. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. So do whatever you did on the opposite side. Switch it. And if you don't remember, that's okay too. Right? Bend your knees a lot. Bend your knees more than you think you should, or more than you think you can, more than you want to, right? Bend your knees and send your knees forward. Draw your buttock bone back. Lift your arms so their arms are parallel to the ground. That's it. And then think your elbows move into your hands. Create that volume in the armpits. Start to press your feet down. Lift your chest up just slightly off your thighs. Notice the resistance here. I know it's hard. Lift your chest up. Stand up tall. Yeah, so there's that tendency at the end to like rush it. And then if you do, you get a little head rush, right? So smile if that happens to you. It's so fun. Good. And then take your right hand to the back of your head. Good. Take your left arm out towards the side. Draw your thumb down. Good. Really turn your upper arm bone into the shoulder. Send your left hand to your low back at your sacrum. So your right hand is behind you. That's it. Good. And then think your right elbow moves you up. That's it. And then press your head into your hand. Think your right elbow moves you out towards the side to find more volume. Open up through your right armpit, everybody. That's it. So when we do this, we're creating more space for our lungs, building more volume to take up space. And then think your left elbow moves you out towards the left. That's it. One more time. Bend your knees. Hinge. Keep your knees directly over the center of your feet. Buttock bones back, knees forward. That's it. Take your right hand like a triangle. Right hand comes to 12 o'clock, but your pubis still draws you forward a little bit and your tailbone draws you back towards 6 o'clock. Make that triangle from right foot to left foot to your right hand. Maybe your right hand crawls out even more in front of you so you find more space, everybody. Keep your knees bent, everybody, so that your chest is on your thighs. That's it. And then from here, if you want a little bit more, take your left palm to your low back at your sacrum. And then keep yourself in your center as you turn around yourself into the twist. Think your right tip of your right shoulder moves your collarbone up and around to the left. Maybe the gaze comes up. Notice again, if one side feels easier to you, where do you go? Where don't you go? Straighten through your left leg. That's it. Keep your right knee bent. Think that your left hip moves back in the left hip socket to draw your right knee forward. Maybe it draws a little bit closer towards that right armpit. That's it. Keep turning. Maybe you look up. Maybe you reach that left thumb up. So good. Good. Keep pressing down through that right foot. And then come all the way back through center. Make a square again. Take your left hand in front of your left foot. Take your right hand in front of your right foot. Bend your knees a lot. That's it. Inhale, slowly plant your hands. Step back with your right foot. Step back with your left foot to a plank pose. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward for plank pose again. This time, knees lifted or lowered for Chaturanga Dandasana. Untuck your toes. Lift your pelvis forward and up, but draw your hip bones back for an upward facing dog. That's it, everybody. Downward facing dog. Good. Lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, draw your right knee into your navel. Look at your right thumb. Step your right foot to your right thumb, everybody. Keep your left leg really straight. Draw your heel back, but think that your right knee moves you forward. That's it. Take your right hand to 3 o'clock. Take your left hand to 9 o'clock. Draw your sternum forward and up. That's it. Now untuck your back toes. Drop your back knee down. Reach your arms forward and up. Good. Right away, left hand to the head at the back and behind you. Good. And then take your right arm out long. Good. Turn your upper arm bone in. Bend your elbow. Take your hand around your low back at your sacrum. This time, make a fist with your right hand. Good. And then really plug it into your tailbone. So notice your tailbone in the back. Think your tailbone goes down to lift your pubic bone forward and up. That's it. And then allow your hips to move out towards their own side. That's it. Stay for one more breath. And then slowly, slowly again, drop your left hand down to the inside of that right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. Push your fist on your right hand into your low back at your sacrum, or your sacrum, to lift your buttock bones up. So think that the hips move up and into the hands for more volume. That's it. So good. Take your hands around to the inside of your right foot. Walk your hands all the way around. Bend again into your left knee. Walk your hands forward. Make that triangle shape. Two hands come to the top of the apex. Left foot and right foot make the edge. A little bit wider triangle pose. Listen carefully, everybody. We're going to walk our hands around to our right foot. Come back to your lunge, and then we're going to move around to the right. But don't move your legs, move your feet. You can look at me if you want. You're going to walk your legs around. So you're going to come into that twisted variation of that rectangular shape, but we're just switching the format now. That's it. Good. Bend into both knees. And for this, you're going to really come a little bit closer with the feet. You have to change the shape a little bit. Bend the knees a lot. That's it. And then make your rectangle again. Right hand to left hand, right foot to left foot. Really see if you can even out through the shape a little bit more. Bend your knees a little bit. That's it. Bend, 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 bend. Take your right hand in the center of your mat and bend your knees a little bit more. And then if you can, start to take your left hand around against your low back at your sacrum. Aha, just like we did. It's like a down dog twisting variation. Good. Lean forward, look forward. That's it. That's it. Think that your right hand presses down to lift you up. If you can, tent your right fingertips so you're catching a ball. And it helps to bend the knees again so you feel that buoyancy in the upper body. I know, so good. One more breath. Slowly drop your hands down. Walk your hands forward. Reframe your right foot. Reframe your right foot. Good. Step your left foot up to meet it. Whew. Bend your knees, make two fists with your hands. Slide your hands to the inside of your feet, inner arches of your feet. Bend your knees a lot. Good. Opposite hand, opposite elbow. Bend, bend, bend through your knees. Chest to thighs. Think your knees go forward. Your butt bone draws you back. Notice where you have a tendency to rush when you stand up. That's it. Whew. Get around yourself. Yep. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Lift all the way up. Good. Take your left hand to your head. Right hand reaches out towards the side. Good. Turn your thumb down, bend your elbow. Make a fist again. Put it in your low back. Pull your elbows out to their own side. Push your feet down to lift up and out of your head. Think your pubic bone draws you forward. Your tailbone draws you back. That's it. Bend into your knees, everybody. Hinge, 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 and fold. Good. And then slowly one more time. Set your left hand in front. Make a triangle. Really take your left hand to 12 o'clock. That's it. Push your feet down. Good. Start to chest towards your thighs. Good. That's it. Stay for one more full deep breath in. Exhale, set your hands down. Good. Step your left foot back, everybody. Step your right foot back, plank pose. Hips up and back, down dog. Inhale forward for plank pose. If you want a vinyasa, go for a vinyasa or stay in your plank. Hips up and back, down dog. Lift your left leg straight up and back. Draw your left knee into your navel. Set your left foot to your left thumb. Take your hands wide. Right hand to 3, left hand to 9. Lift your hips up a little bit, everybody. That's it. Then start to drop your back knee down, untuck your toes. Good. Reach your arms forward and up. That's it. Good. Right hand to the back of the head. Left hand out towards the side. Turn your thumb down. You know where you're going. Again, make a fist this time with your left hand and then put it in your tailbone at your low back, at your sacrum. Think your right elbow pulls you out towards the right. Your left elbow moves you out towards the left. And then keep lifting your chest forward and up. Good. That's it. Stay for one more breath. And then slowly, slowly, slowly drop your right hand down to the inside of your left foot. Good. And then again, start to turn. Use that twist to start to turn yourself around. Good. Think your right shoulder moves you to 12. Your left shoulder moves you back towards 6. Then start to move around yourself. That's it. That's it. Take one more breath in. Come all the way back. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Come back to that straight leg of your right leg. And then take your hands around to the inside of your left leg. Walk your hands around. Bend your right knee this time, everybody. Notice where you go into that right foot. Can you really connect to all 4 corners of the feet? Come into the shape where you're walking your hands towards the center and you're really leaning into that right side. That's it. Here's a twist. So come carefully into this. If you needed help the first time, it's confusing the first time, we're going to repeat it. So that's okay. Walk your hands around to face the front. You should be in front with your left leg in front. Don't change the legs. Walk your hands all the way around. Your feet are going to walk in just slightly. So we're coming again into that cross-legged variation. The left leg should be on top. And then take your left hand to make that triangle shape. Good. Slowly coming into the shape. Really use your feet here, everybody. Get your heels in one long line
And then so you can really come and roll into the outer edges of the feet. Good, bend your knees even more. So you're really allowing the chest to be buoyant. The more that you move from your pelvis and fold from your hips, the more space you're gonna have. And then take your left hand far out in front. Make that triangle shape. From your left hand is the apex. Your left and right foot are the edges of the vertices of that shape in the triangle. And then make a fist with your right hand. Start to move into the twist. Come all the way up and around. That's it. Notice where you go and where you don't go. Are you moving and twisting from your hips, or can you move from your sternum and your chest? That's it, everybody. Good. Look down. Walk your hands to the front of the mat. Your left leg should be in front, and if you switch, it's totally fine, right? Step your right foot up to meet it. Make two fists. Take your fist inside the inner arches of your feet. Bend your knees. Bend your knees. Grab opposite hand to opposite elbow. Knees move forward, butt bones move you back. Start to lift your chest. Notice where you rush. That's it. And then start to lift your chest all the way up. Good. Send your hands just down this time next to your hips. Really good work, everybody. Step to the top of the mat if you're not already there. Good. Spread your toes. Really push down into the balls of the feet, into the heels of the feet, and then shift your weight just into your left leg. Put a little bend into your left knee. Lift your right knee into the chest. That's it. And then take your right foot and ankle for a four square on top of your left thigh. Bend your left knee a lot. Good. Think your hips move out to their own side. And then if you can take the hands off of the foot or off of the ankle, take your hands either to your heart or to your hips. Really see what feels more grounding and more supportive for you. And then use your imagination through all of this. Draw a line from your right buttock bone to your left knee. Draw a line from your left buttock bone to your right knee, making an X marks a spot in your pelvis. Right buttock bone, left knee, left buttock bone, right knee. See if that moves you a little bit more into a square shape with your legs. Stay for one more full deep breath. Inhale. Then exhale, straighten, straighten, straighten through your left leg. Draw your right knee back into your chest. Set your right foot down. Really good work, everybody. Good. Shift the weight right away into your right foot. Bend into your right knee. Good. Lift your left leg up. Take your hands to your foot or to your ankle. And as the more that you bend into your right knee, your opposite leg, the closer I find that you can start to get the foot a little bit more on top of the thigh. So really going into this square shape, right? Your triangle of your leg starts to make a square, right? Building on our own personal geometry. So we build onto our own personal geometry. Yoga is a little bit like an origami. We fold ourselves and we unfold ourselves to find more insight. And when we repeat these patterns, we start to get a little bit more fluid in the shapes, right? So if you've ever done origami, the first time you do it, you're like, where does the triangle go and the what and the what? But then the more that you do it, the more that it becomes a little bit more fluid. When we open up an origami, it's voluminous, right? It's not flat. We move from something flat into something that's beautiful and voluminous. So that's what our bodies are doing. We're taking these shapes today and we're building into the practice. So we can kind of get out all the creases and we can find a little bit more space. That's it. Start to bend into your right knee. Think that your right buttock bone moves to your left knee and your left buttock bone moves to your right knee, making X marks a spot. Push into your right foot to stand up. Draw your left knee into your chest. That's it. And then set your foot down. Good. Bend your knees a little bit. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Good. Exhale, send your hands down next to your sides. Good. Turn to your left. Turn to your left. That's it. And then step your feet to the widest part of the mat. Widest part of the mat. Keep your legs straight. Keep your feet pointing towards the corner of the mat from here. And then reach your arms straight up. Take opposite hand to opposite elbow. Really fit your hands into your elbows. Move your elbows out into your hands to widen your armpits, widen your collarbones. And then start to turn your left foot, put your brain in your left foot, find it where it is, and then turn your left foot forward just slightly. Think that the top of your left inner thigh moves in and down, and then put a big bend into your right knee. Lift your right heel up. Turn your leg out of the hip to send your right toes forward for Virabhadrasana 2. Keep your chest moving towards the side of your mat. So don't turn towards the front. Really move your chest a little bit more towards 9 o'clock, okay? And then start to lift up through your chest, through your sternum. Think that your left thigh turns you in, but your right thigh moves you out towards the side. That's it. And then so you can move your chest a little bit more over towards the left. Now open your arms out to warrior two. Turn your head, but don't turn your torso. That's it. Virabhadrasana 2. So, so, so good. Keep your back leg straight. Put a bigger bend into your right knee to stack your right knee on top of your right heel. That's it. Reach just your left arm straight up. Take your left hand to the back of your head. Good. Think your left elbow moves you out a little bit to open through your left armpit. And then turn your right thumb down. Bend your right elbow. Make a fist again, everybody, with your right hand to your low back. Good. From here, push your hand, push your right fist into your sacrum at your low back. And then see if you can draw your right hand down, your tailbone down a little bit. So there's an action of moving the tailbone down to find more volume to lift the pubic bone up. That's it. That's it. Good. Stay for one more full breath. Inhale. Good. And then slowly begin to straighten through your right leg. Exhale. Good. Take your right arm straight out in front of you again. Open your palm. Turn your palm up. That's it, everybody. And then this time, take your left hand back from behind you. Do what we did on the right side. So bend into your right elbow. Make a fist with your left hand. Your left hand. And then as best as you can, I want you to tuck your left hand into your right outer hip. Left hand into right outer hip. Yeah, I know it takes a minute. Good. And then from here, really see if you can draw your right hip back into your left hand. As you draw your right hip bone back into the socket, your left hip is going to come forward, but your inner left thigh is going to go down a little bit. That's it, everybody. So as we move into triangle pose, hinge and bend from the hip to move the pelvis. That's it. And then think your right hand moves down to the ground or to your shin bone. And then start to move again from the pelvis. Really draw your right hip back. Use your fist to really pull your hip back to allow your left thigh bone to move in and down, everybody. That's it. And then start to come into the turn. Turn the tip of your right shoulder up to your left collarbone. Move around yourself. Think that your crown of your head moves towards 12 o'clock. Your pubis draws you forward, but your tailbone draws you back. That's it, towards 6 o'clock. And then from here, slowly, slowly bend into your right knee a lot. Here's your block. If you need a block, move the block to the outside of the right foot. Move into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Keep your right knee bent, everybody, and then start to lift your left leg up. Keep your left leg neutral by flexing your left toes and really turning again the top of your inner left leg in and down. As you do that, your right hip is going to find volume to move out to the right. Put a deeper bend in your right knee at first to find that balance. So see if you can really use the bend in the right knee to plug your outer right hip in to find that volume to lift the outer left hip out and up. That's it. That's it. Get long through all four sides of your torso, your front, your back, your right, your left. That's it. If you fall, just smile, no worries. Slowly, slowly, big bend into your right knee. Set your left foot back. Good. Come back to your warrior two. Open your arms. Whew. Straighten your legs, hands down. Beautiful work. And then turn your feet back to parallel. Good. Get your legs straight. Get your feet nice and parallel and straight. One more time, reach your arms straight up. Try to remember where you were as best as you can. Opposite hand to opposite elbow. Think that your elbows lift you up and out to find more collarbone space, to find more space in your armpits. That's it, everybody. And then put your brain in your right foot. Turn your right foot in just slightly. So really allow that upper thigh to turn in and down. It's like internal rotation. And then bend into your left knee. Lift your left heel. Turn your leg out the hip. Come into the warrior two leg. That left knee this time will come directly over the heel. And again, don't move your torso into warrior two. Keep your torso turning over towards the side. That's it. Draw your pubic bone forward and up to draw your tailbone back and down. That's it. And then think your chest moves just slightly to the right thigh. That's it. Keep your right thigh spinning in and down, but put more bend into your left knee to move your left thigh parallel as best as you can.
Now keep the chest centered. Reach the arms out wide into a T warrior two. Now use the neck to turn the gaze towards the left thumb. Good. Think of looking over the middle finger. Stay for a breath. Full deep breath in, full breath out. Straighten your right arm up and over your head. Take your right hand to the back of your head. Pull your elbow up and out to create that volume. Good. And then turn your left thumb in and down. Take your hand around your low back. Make a fist at your tailbone, at your sacrum. Draw the fist down, but allow the tailbone to draw down to move your pubic bone forward and up, to lift your chest up, 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 up. That's it, everybody. Good. Start to straighten through both legs. Good. Free your right hand back and behind you. Good. Just like we did with the front arm. Turn your thumb down. Really rotate your inner arm bone in and down. And then again, make a fist with your left hand. I like to use my opposite hand to kind of guide it around to the left hip. Right hand to left hip. Opposite hand to opposite hip. And then really push your hand into your hip to move your hips back. Move and fold into this from the pelvis. Think that the top of your right thigh moves in and down, but your left hip is plugging in to move you back and down. Good. And then send your left hand down for a little bit variation of a triangle pose. Left hand to the shin, to the ground, but keep using that right fist to plug your left hip back in the hip socket to turn your outer right hip in and down. That's it. And then come into the twist. Draw the tip of your left shoulder to your right collarbone. X marks the spot in the center of your chest. That's it. Can you look up, but look around yourself? Maybe even look at what's behind you, what's around you. Get that full 360 view. That's it. Stay for one more full breath. Inhale. Put a big bend into your left knee. And then move into Ardha Chandrasana pose. I like to keep my left knee really bent just to begin, so I can really move again from the hips and from the pelvis. Lift your right leg up. Good. Bend your left knee. Really plug your left hip in and up to lift your right thigh up. Get long through all four sides of the torso, the front, the back, the right, the left, and then maybe start to look up. Yeah, it should be really challenging. That's it, everybody. Stay for one more breath. Big, big bend into the left knee. Set your feet back. Good. Re-straighten your legs. Take your hands, just release them. Whew. Parallel the feet. Good. Step your feet together. And then turn to face the front of the room. Come all the way to the top of the mat. That's it. Reach your arms all the way up. Good. Fold forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Take your hands to your shins. Lift halfway. Look forward and out. And then exhale, step or hop back. Traditional vinyasa only if you want. Inhale, upward facing dog. That's it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up and back. Good. Draw your right knee into your navel. Look at your right thumb. Set your right foot forward. Good. Take your hands off the mat. Right hand to 3, left hand to 9. And then start to lift up for a high lunge this time. Anjaneyasana. Good. Just for a moment, straighten through your front leg. Push the down through the ball of your right foot to straighten and lift your right quadricep up. Good. Bend your left knee. Bend your left knee. As you bend your left knee, draw your pubic bone forward to really tilt your pelvis forward. That's it. And then start to re-bend through your right knee. And now straighten through your left leg. That's it. Even more straighten your left leg, Cassie. Good. Reach your arms straight up. Arms in line with the ears. Good. Stay for one more full deep breath. Inhale. As you exhale, take your left hand to the back of your head. Take your right arm out towards the side. Good. You know where we're going. Turn the thumb down. Turn your hand around. Make a fist, or you can just keep the back of the hand to your low back of your tailbone. Push your hand into your tailbone to lift your sternum forward and up a little bit more. That's it. The back leg's really straight. Now start to hinge and fold. That's it. That's it. Good. And then if you want to twist, start to twist by turning the tip of your left shoulder to your right collarbone. It should be challenging. You can drop the knee, but if you can, try to stick with it. This is where that pressure and that endurance comes in to really build yourself to find a little bit more capacity and volume. In the challenge, can you build that volume and build that space? That's it. Slowly drop your left hand to the inside of your right foot. Inside of your right foot. Get it close to your right foot, as close as you can. Good, and then open to the right. Step into a side plank. Vashisthasana. Good, if you want to free the right hand from the low back, reach your right arm up. Good, flex your feet. That's it. For everybody, take your right hand to the top of your right hip. Right hand to the top of your right hip. That's it. Turn your right hip in and down just slightly, but squeeze your thighs. That's it. Keep that volume. It makes it harder, but it makes so the hips and pelvis move a little bit more. Now reach the right arm up. That's it. You got it, Elizabeth. Stay for a breath. Really good work, Jennifer. Really good work, April. So pretty. Look down, plant your hands, plank. Flow or no flow, vinyasa. I'm going to take a break. So fun. Good. When you're ready, down dog. Lift your left leg up and back. Draw your left knee in, round the spine. Step your left foot forward to your left thumb. Take your hands wide and off the mat. Right hand to 3, left hand to 12. Good. Put a little volume in your left thigh or lift it up. Good. And then start to reach your arms forward and up. That's it, everybody. Good. Then again, straighten through your front leg. Push down into the ball of your foot. You're going to have more control to lengthen and lift your left quadricep up. That's it. And then put a bend into your right knee. You can go slow into this. Put a bend into your right knee. That's your back leg. Good. As you do that, can you draw your pubic bone out and forward? And then draw your tailbone back and down. That's it. And then start to re-bend through your left knee. Think your left knee moves you forward. But as you do that, straighten your right leg back. That's it. So much more stable. Good. Stay for one more breath. Right hand to the back of the head. Left hand out to the side. Turn your palm down. Turn your upper arm bone in. Either take a back of your left hand to your low back or make a fist. Good. Put your fist into your tailbone. Think your tailbone draws you down to lift your pubic bone forward enough. So there's a back bend within this, right? And the back bend comes from the pelvis. Lean your chest forward, everybody. Draw your right shoulder forward. And then again, so you can get your chest on top of your thigh to turn. And then start to turn. If you need to drop the back knee, do it. But if you want that endurance and strength, stick with it. Find the volume in the body, the volume in the space to move around yourself. That's it. And then send your right hand down to the inside of the right foot. That's it. From here, keep that right leg really straight and really engaged. Step back to your Vashisthasana plank pose. And then right away, take your left hand to the top of your left thigh. Turn your left thigh in and down. That's it. To find more space to lift up and out of it. So good. So strong. Good. And then if you want, reach both hands away from one another. That's it. Trisha, I can't see you, but I know you're strong. Tara, I can't see you, but I know you're doing well. Good. And then when you're ready, look down, plank pose with a smile. I finally got a smile. Good. Lower down chaturanga. Go vinyasa if you want. Oof. Up dog. Inhale. Beautiful up dog, Jennifer. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really good. That's it. Drop your knees down, hips to heels for Balasana, child's pose. Good. And then come on to one hip. Send your legs out and around in front of you. Whew. Straighten your legs. And then come all the way down onto your back. All the way down onto your back. So we're just about at time. If you have another 3 minutes or so, I'm going to move you through just a final twist, and then you can come down. These virtual platforms, everyone has been saying that we've sort of lost count of time. So if you need to go, feel free to go. If you can stay another minute, 3 minutes, and then lay all the way down onto your back. Good. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh for a Gomukhasana leg. We've been working with this twist and twisted variation all practice. And then drop your knees over to the left. And you have blocks and you have a blanket. I like to tuck a blanket underneath my right knee. So I have a little bit more of a boundary with that right knee on top of the blanket. And then the right arm can come out long into the side for gentle supine twist. And if you want, turn your upper arm bone out at the right shoulder to send your palm up. That's it. Good. Look over your right shoulder. And then allow yourself to settle in. Breathe in the front, the back, the right, the left, up and down. Exhale, come back to yourself at the center. Do that again. Breathe in, up and down, right and left, front and back. Come back to your center. Exhale. Those are twists or cleansing for the mind. There's a reason they're challenging, because we have to make a change. We have to revolve and get around ourselves. And sometimes that's easy, but sometimes it's challenging. Come onto your back. Switch the cross of the legs, left thigh over right thigh. And then take the blankets off into the side. Use a blanket or a block. See if you can bring the ground up to that left knee to give yourself more of a boundary. That's it. And then reach your left arm out long. Again, turn your left palm up so you're really opening up through the collarbones and the shoulders. And then maybe take the gaze over the left hand. And so when we come into this place of effort, we also want to find a little bit of grace to catch it. We don't want to put all of our efforts in without catching grace. Or if we're putting too much effort in, where can we notice? Where can we notice perhaps where are we spending our time? So that we can catch a little bit of grace along the way. And then hug both knees in, come through the center. And then release the legs just for a short Shavasana. If you'd rather come into meditation, you're welcome to come into meditation. And then really becoming aware of where you are in the body, where you are in the practice, perhaps where you are in a moment or a time. When we move from our middle, from our own personal circumference, we start to get a better vision and build our own personal territory so that we can see our weakness, we can see our strength, but that we can play them from the middle. You're at home, so if you want to stay for longer, Shavasana, feel free to stay for longer Shavasana. If you're ready to come back to your day, come all the way back to a comfortable seated pose. Aparigraha, meaning non-possessiveness or non-greed or non-attachment. You can simply think of it as letting go. Aparigraha invites us to let go and to pack lightly for our journey through life, all the while caring deeply and enjoying fully. As you come to a seat, if you're still on your back, just take your hands over your heart. And breathe in, feel your front, feel your back, feel your past, feel your future in front of you, and really feel yourself at your center. And take a moment to find gratitude for one thing in your day,
Allow it to bring you a smile. And then we'll close the breath. Take a deep, full breath in. Open the mouth, exhale. Let it out. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. I apologize again for going a little bit over time. I could have gone for like an hour and a half today, probably maybe longer. So fun. Twisting so hard, but so fun. Such good practice and work. Thanks, Tara, for joining. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. If you want to turn yourself off and say hi, you're welcome to do so.